You started seeing opportunities to love and serve the people that God brought across your path. So, how, what what does that mean? What does that look like for you?
I think I'll see if I answer this, if I'm giving you what you're looking for, but I'll give you an example of, like, last night, the doctor that first diagnosed my cancer in 2014 was a retire he wasn't retired, but I guess he could be, right? He was a Vietnam veteran, prisoner of war, and in his 70s at that point in time. Now he's in his 80s, still practicing medicine. That Dr. Kushner, he and I have lunch every 3 months. Last night was his birthday, so I called him and talked to him on his birthday, and we talked about life, and we talked about different things and how many people he had given my book to because they needed to hear my story. That I would not have that opportunity and that friendship if I had been approaching it as poor me, right? I have cancer, but instead looking for the opportunity. I have so many stories like that of people that otherwise I wouldn't know, that I've had the privilege of knowing and considering to be my friend.
Yeah, it's interesting. So one of the, I guess, foundational principles of business's mission is that what we believe, I say we, there's no universal, but we talk a lot about people in business meeting people they would have never met anywhere else. They wouldn't meet them in church. They weren't their next door neighbors. And yet we're surrounded by people in pain and confusion, captive to greed, all kind of, or struggling in their marriage, all kinds of things we would never know if it wasn't for our time in business. And that's what I hear you saying about your experiences. I would not know these people if it hadn't been for this. And I view that as more valuable than not having this experience. So it's a hard and a beautiful story all at the same time. So you had mentioned to give us a little bit of life leading up to this because you talked about you were recently single mom, so you had that to deal with leading up to it. But I really want to get into what's happened since then because you've turned this. I don't even know if turning, I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but your life has taken on a place where it's meaning a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah, I prior to my diagnosis, I was an executive. I was a young executive, a young female with a group of males. So that was a big stretching time for me. And we were working to sell our company. So that a lot of that fell on my shoulders to work on the numbers and the data because I oversaw the administrative side. So finances and HR and the culture elements, which I have a lot of passion around culture and building team. So it wasn't I had a lot from a work perspective and then 2 boys that were under 5 and then this, right? But around that journey, I had my boss at that time, who I talked to last night too, oddly enough, I still talk to because he was more than a boss. He was a friend and a mentor and was showed up for me in a big way in that season. And that always stands out to me too, because anybody that has I've had the opportunity to coach or mentor, I may leave that company, but I am still there for them to mentor them and coach them. I don't ever want to leave people behind. I feel like I just want to be all one part of we're all one big family. But that's a part that's important to me. But as cancer journey, eventually that company sold and I had to shift into doing different things. I spent time consulting in the technology space in the pocket of time where I was cancer free. And then even and shifting to doing more work that's tied to writing a book and consulting around leadership and communication and culture and core values. Even before that time frame, I always looked for opportunities in my leadership roles to work with people and to do things that helped people to grow and to stretch themselves. Was not okay with this is how we've always done it, right? We can always get better. We can always grow. I'm in an environment today where I'm helping in a church and a Christian school and helping with a leadership transition. Everybody fears somebody new walking in the door. I will tell them quickly if there's any critique. The top critique I have gotten in my professional career is that I believe too much in people. don't be fearful that everybody's gonna be gone, because I'm gonna be on the opposite side of the spectrum, wanting people to make it and wanting to coach and improve people. That's just the reality of who I am. I have a passion for people and believe that everybody has a 10 on their forehead, not a 1, they've got a 10, right? And try to get them to that potential.